delicious shortbread, which I didn't quite get round to eating on the train over here today, so it's not been touched by me, but the next slight tinges of cigarette smoke. But don't let it put you off. There we go. Oh, and it's upside down. Right, so very quick roundup of some news specifically around Scotland. Kind of terribly public sector flavoured, but given most people in the room are from public sector, that's not a bad thing. But it would be so good in the future, getting more involvement from private sector, and also to get news from yourselves. So if I've been really well planned, then I would have asked you beforehand. So if you've got a news story you want to share, your opportunity is going to arrive very, very soon. So starting from the top and going round, I want to start off with Mr. P. Adonis. You're going, what is she talking about? And this is where the prize comes in. I'm going to tell you the story and tell you the other stories, and if someone by the time I finish speaking can work out why that acronym, Mr. P. Adonis, was used for that first story, you get my shortbread. Come on, a little bit of a woo from the audience. Thanks very much. So, very first story. This is related to a potential event that will be coming up next year, a joint event between IRMS Scotland and NADCO, who are the National Association of Data Protection Officers, and that event will be looking at all about the implications of GDPR or not, depending on what's happening. So that's the first story. That was Mr. P. Adonis. Get those thinking caps on. Sharing the love. Now, and this goes beyond public sector colleagues and Scottish public sector colleagues. The NRS have very beautifully created an extra page around the Public Record Scotland Act and resources on their website, which gives direct links to all those Scottish public sector organisations who have actually shared their records management plans on their own websites. Some have actually got oodles and doodles of stuff, so rather than just being able to see the actual report that they got, you can see the stuff they've produced. That's great resources, not just for those organisations who have to comply with the PRSA, but actually beyond that, cross-sector, blinking well cross-world. So that's worth looking at. They've also shared the love in that their latest annual report is out, and Stop the Press, so is the Office of the Scottish Information Commissioner's annual report is also out about FOISA. Moving along hurriedly, is there a doctor in the house? So this is all about the Public Record Scotland Act surgeries. They used to be quite regularly done, particularly in the early days, as people were moving towards submitting the record management plans. Now they're starting to fade them off a bit. They still reckon they'll be maybe having them a couple a year, but they'd also quite like to maybe look at some other sort of events, because they totally appreciate how much people enjoy getting together and talking about stuff around this area. So it might be around a particular theme, or they might go and visit a particular geographical area within Scotland, and I have a request from the teams to say, listen, we want your ideas, guys, about how we can participate with you. So get in touch with any members of the team, of whom we have at least two, if not more in the audience. Just the two. Two's a great number. Right, I'm now ad-libbing and need to shut up. So that's about, is there a doctor in the house? Moving along down to the assessment process for Public Record Scotland Act improvement plans. Obviously, there we were thinking, just get those plans out and approved. Woo! Job done. Oh, no, no, no. It was mostly for people, it's an improvement plan, and at the end of the day, records management isn't for PRSA or Christmas, it's kind of for life. So, although the deadline for having all the record management plans approved is, what's it, 2018? Thank you very much. Obviously, the next step for the guys is going to be revisiting all those improvement plans and assessing them to see if people have said what they're going to do. Have they actually done it? So they've done a pilot around that with West Lothian Council based on... That was East Lothian.
Alec. Alec Fitzgerald, East Lothian.
Oh, okay, right, thank you. Actually, probably you should be saying this rather than me, clearly. So there's a forum initially that sort of developed the process. They piloted it, revisited in the forum, and then you'll be... Yeah, okay. Thanks. Do you want me to shut up really quickly? Okay, so that's about the assessment process.
You're going to ask us when we're going to start doing this, aren't you?
Eh?
Tell you, we're leaving up to ask me when we're going to actually start.
So when do you start doing this?
I don't know.
I don't know yet, but that'll be my next news update on the next event. Yes, I'm sure it will be the
Maybe early next year.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Now moving down to the Scottish Child Abuse Inquiry and those record discussions. Well, feel that for those of you who potentially may be asked to supply evidence for that particular inquiry, it does feel like we've been asking questions about that for quite a long time, and there have been attempts to have kind of clearer kind of guidance on what needs to be kept, what needs to be produced. There's sort of two potential communications going to be happening, one in February next year, when it's a joint meeting with ASLOG and the IRMS Scotland with the inquiry team to hopefully come up with some kind of guidance around that. And also the NRS themselves, they met recently with the inquiry team and they've just discussed potentially, maybe even a couple of meetings, that the NRS will hold with the team and with as many members of the public sector who are involved in that to come on and have good discussions around it. So hopefully we'll get some real progress in that, hopefully fairly real soon. And finally, it's a team game. And that'll be IRMS Scotland, and in fact any of these organisations, that this group, and we're not trying to call it a group, but I'm going to call it a group right now. This group is about us. And I think today, I don't know about you, but I've really, really enjoyed it. And I definitely want to sign up with some CBT, but I've got so many options. We're really very keen, as you know, for you to participate. And participating doesn't mean, in addition to my 5, 10, 12 hours of CPD, I also need to give another 12 hours to IRMS Scotland. It isn't like that. You can dip your toe in the water and just provide a suggestion for a speaker. Be a speaker. Provide an event. Post something in the Blinking LinkedIn group, or even tweet, all the way through to actually being on the committee. And on that note, in June next year, our eminent young chair over here is standing down, so there's actually going to be a slot for a top job. So get that planning thought, and wow, that's going to look really good in your accreditation, you know. So those are the news stories. Getting back to Mr. P. Adonis, has anybody worked out why I use that acronym, please? And if you don't answer, it's because you don't want my shortbread because you don't think it'll taste very good. Anybody? Okay, so there was in the train. How can I make that sound kind of punchy? IRMS, NADPO, jiggle them around and you get Mr. P. Adonis. I win my own shortbread. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Heather, for yet again an entertaining and rallying finish to the day. I'll not extend this longer than I have to just say some very genuine thank yous, first to our hosts, National Records of Scotland, equally to our sponsors Canon UK and Ireland. Thank you also for an informative and just very well targeted sponsor presentation. That has to be the best, most relevant presentation I've heard from a sponsor ever. So thank you for that. Thank you all very much for coming, and particularly to all our contributors today, whether they've been speakers, facilitators, yourselves in the groups. It's been really good. I think hopefully we have met the objectives of the day and responded to your requests and suggestions for the topic. We hope to continue that on with the forthcoming meetings. We will start planning for that in more detail fairly soon. And just say, please do submit your ideas and contributions just as they come to you, and we'll try and fit those into our forthcoming schedule. So thanks again, and safe travels, even if it's only as far as the Guildford.